Live stream, got it.
Yeah, done. So that's gonna happen. When I gotta let this thing go. Oh no, come on you. Right? And mute that so we can actually go in peace because that way I can watch the comment section of 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 the process, right? So there we go. We are officially live on Zoom. Yes, I got it. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. So there you go. No, look, here's the thing. I do this all the time. This is my thing. There are things you're great at. There are things you suck at. That's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But in the future, I ask questions, just answer this. Don't overthink. Just answer the question because keep it simple. That way we can always, when you're trying to solve a problem, right? I can't see your setup. I can't read minds, and I don't astral project. If I did, I could maybe see it for myself, but I don't have that ability. That's it. It's okay not to know not understand what's going on. It's okay to feel a little frustrated about it too. I'm sure you use some 4 or 5 letter words that are really, really fine.
No.
You don't use 4 or 5 letter words?
I don't cuss.
Okay. I do. It's satisfying. It's all good. But all we say is we're not good at everything, and that's fine. You don't need to be good at everything. You just do the best you can, and that's what I'm seeing, right? And as long as you're trying, I mean, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt all day long.
Cool.
Yeah. So we are live, by the way. I just hope you realize this.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So Casey, nice to meet you, and I guess person, for lack of a better term.
Yes. Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. Nervous, but good.
What are you nervous? It's just me.
It's cool.
Yeah. This is my 975th episode, folks.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm about 30 episodes away from shutting down the Twitch era down completely. I've already started my new show on Patreon. So you can go, yeah. Well, no, so here's where I'm at personally right now. So when we're done today, I'm getting a haircut. I'm looking myself civilized. I am looking for other work right now. Like if I was staying where I'm at, I'd be fine this month. I don't have to get an extra job. It's not kind of in a nice spot that way, but I'm trying to leave. And since I'm trying to leave, I'm taking my show legitimately on the road. Like legit, that's the plan.
Oh, wow.
So to do that, means I got to go do a zillion things. So I'm selling my comics right now. I got my first 2 eBay stuff. Auctions closed today, right? Right. So one of them's really shitty. One of them's okay. One of them's fine. But I'm getting rid of my books. I'm getting rid of my comics any way I can. I'm looking for work, freelance and otherwise. Got Patreon going. I'm doing everything in my power so that by the time the summer's out, I'm on my way.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. That's my master plan right now. What's your master plan?
My master plan, I am doing a relaunch in July.
You're doing a relaunch in town. You're doing a relaunch in July. So what's your relaunch about?
Carson Promise, my book. I'm trying to get it out there to more people. Maybe I can get someone to video it. Not right now.
Okay.
I'm busy.
Hi, that's your daughter?
My nephew.
Hi, nephew.
Say hi, Kenny.
Hi, Kenny. Kenny's shy.
Oh, yes, he's shy. He's hiding behind my chair.
I noticed that. Hey, Kenny. My name's Josh. Don't worry. It's cool. My show's been held hostage by a 3-year-old before. It's all good. Wow. So, yeah. You see, again, you know your place in the world when a 3-year-old can take over your show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that's the grand scheme of things. And Kenny's like, I want to see what you're up to. And she's like, who's this guy he's talking to? and I'm like, just some dude. That's what I am, just some dude. So so you're trying to relaunch your book. So what are you trying to do differently this time?
Well, I'm actually getting it out there. I mean, I never did a presentation. And I'm thinking about trying to do it at the flea market too.
Okay, so I think it's fair to so I hope you take this. This is not meant to be an insulting thing. You're very shy when it comes to people, aren't you?
I'm working on it, yes.
Yes. So why how do I put this? Why are you so shy? Like is there something, is there a particular reason for it? Or you just get nervous around people all the time?
I don't know. It's like, who would want to buy my book? Am I
That's
that good?
that's the worst way to think.
My
It's
sister, she grabbed the phone, came running in my room, gave it to me, said, here, talk to a book person, and then she left the room.
yes.
So I got with Dorrance. That was a mistake, but it was a beginning. So
It's okay to make mistakes. Like
yeah.
mistakes are a part of this business. It's what
It's the way to move forward.
Yeah, like okay, but okay, who's going to buy your book? I think people like you would buy your book. You made the thing after all, right?
Yeah, but
No, no buts.
I'm weird.
Everybody's weird. Everybody's weird. Why would that what's normal? I want you to really look outside, right? Find me one normal person, and I will tell you that person is in hell. That person is not. There's nothing extraordinary about them. They are normal, right? That is the only extraordinary quality they have. That would be hell. Could you imagine that? No deep thoughts, no depth, no passion, no. Yeah, that sounds kind of like hell to me. Why would you want that? So why would you even think that's a good thing?
Oh, pride myself on being weird.
So it's okay. We're all weird. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right. Now this might be a bit of a bubble burster, I guess. Right, a bubble burster. But what I'm going to say to you is, you're not the only weird out there. There's other weirds out there too, and there might be, and dare I say, there might be people who share your weird.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they share your weird, they probably would like your book.
Yeah.
I'm just, I wrote a epic poem, Alice in Wonderland Greek mythology book.
It's Wonderland.
That's cool, right? That's cool, right? Right? So who'd buy that? But it's Alice in Wonderland. It's Greek myth. It's a mashup. It's an epic poem. It's got kick-ass illustrations. So why wouldn't people buy that book?
Yours is fun. Mine's like really heavy.
Who said mine isn't heavy? Who says mine isn't heavy? See, you're making it. You see, that's the thing. See, it can be heavy. People can write about heavy stuff. You could write about, what makes a good person. You can write about, hell, you can write about glitter. Who cares? It doesn't matter. The subject matter doesn't matter. It's what you care about. So is that what you're afraid of? That you're gonna that are you afraid of the fact that no one's gonna care what you care about? Or are you afraid that everybody will care and there'll be expectations that come with it?
The first one.
The first one. Well, So this Miss Casey, I'm gonna call you Miss Casey.
Or
Right. So Miss Casey, then all you have to do, all right, and this is gonna take this is gonna take time, but all you have to do is say, "Hi, I'm Miss Casey Wardell. I am an author extraordinaire, and my book is awesome and made of cheese." Now, I'm not saying no, that's how I would do it, right? You might have to do it your own way, but basically, like the voice that tells you who's going to buy it, who's not going to buy it, who's interested, who's not interested, that voice is irrelevant. You made the book, and that's what matters.
right.
So your job then is to give yourself the best chance you can to find people who will like it. And you're not going to do that by asking yourself, well, who's going to like it? People will like it. Go out there instead maybe and say, I wrote a damn good book and it's pretty awesome. And I'm going to talk to people about it till they're sick in the face and they'll buy a book to shut me up. If I buy it, will you leave me alone? Yes. Right. But see the difference? See the difference in the presentation?
I gotta be
I'm not crippling myself at the beginning. I'm going for it. And I'm gonna don't be wed to any particular outcome. But that's my point. Don't expect the worst. Don't get too high, don't get too low. You're gonna be like, oh my God. Millions of people are going to buy the books and I'm going to be rich and shameless. I'm already one of the two, and that's great and wonderful. Or the other way. Oh my God, no one's going to buy the book. Why did I write? It's like, you don't want either of those. Here's what you want. I wrote a damn good book and I'm fucking proud of it. Right? And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to tell people why it's awesome. And if I'm not sure what the words are, I'm going to get people I know to care about, say, hey, help me out. I need to tell people that my book is awesome. So why do you think my book is awesome? And put those thoughts in your head, right? And also, why did you want to write the book? Actually, that's a good question. Why did you want to write the book?
You asking?
Yeah, I am asking.
Okay. Well, Carson Promise deals with a family who goes through the sexual assault.
I'm not looking for the pitch. Not the pitch. Why did you want to write the book?
Why did I write the book?
Yeah, why did you want to write it? What was it about the story that grabbed you so much?
It's ignored. The topic's ignored.
Is it just about the topic? Or is it more?
Yeah.
How about your interest in the topic? Why do you care so much?
I'm a psych major. I've always cared about stuff like that.
Okay. No, go deep. No, let's go deeper than that. All right. No. I'm serious because you need to. Why did you want to tell this story? Like, you were always interested in it. Why does this interest you so much? Is there a personal connection to it? Is there, and again, if there is, you don't have to go into great detail. It's gotta be, it's not just, it's not just an intellectual fascination. Because if it was, you wouldn't have written the book. It's a passion. Why?
I like words.
Okay. But why this book? I'm trying to actually help you here. I
know, and I'm trying to think of it.
So why you like? What made you want to do it? Like, do you remember when you started the book? Like, what was it?
I was in high school.
Okay.
I was in high school. Only one of the names of the characters stayed the same. The plot changed right after high school.
What changed after high school?
I actually had a plot. I had Rustin jumping out of a window, and it made no sense at all because he was on the second floor.
Okay. So what?
I had no concentrated event
No, you don't necessarily need a concentrated event. But okay, how long is your book?
350 pages, about.
About 70,000 words, give or take.
Yeah.
So you put 70,000 words on the final copy of the book. That's not including the other couple 100,000 words you probably did to get the book out there. So why did you want to tell a story? And it's not intellectually. Like, why do you care about it so much? That you put that much work into it. I think it's cool that you did, but I'm asking that question.
I don't know. I mean, I know one of the characters is who I wish I was.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, that's part of it. That's part of it. Okay, a little bit of wish fulfillment, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
A little bit of that. Okay.
All the stuff I went through growing up because of the car accident. I mean, it's always been there. All my stories have been, attacking or injury or something like that.
So how to overcome?
What I know.
So if I were to put this into words, overcoming injury, but also overcoming loss.
Yeah.
So you felt like something was taken away from you, and you've been looking to get a piece of it back ever since.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. Accurate?
Yeah. So that's why I write. That's why I did it.
Yeah, sure. And that's why you care. Right? And that's why you care.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, I figured you would. But okay, now you know why you care, right?
Yeah.
So do you not think that other people can relate to that?
I was hoping so.
I think you'd be surprised. We've all lost things in this life, all of us.
Yeah.
So
I've had people who've read it and said they cried.
yeah. So that's good. You created an emotional response, and that's good. But specifically here, I asked you, why do you care so much? And the answer to that question is simple. You understand loss. And I would go so far to say, although I haven't not read this. See, I have a belief. See, here's my belief. Our stories we write are our stories, no matter what the plot is. It's what we care about in those moments in time.
Okay.
Right? In your case, that car accident changed you.
Yeah.
You realized how fragile things were. You realized that it could go away like that.
Yeah.
Your innocence about how you've never had that sense of invincibility ever since that accident that a lot of people have in their 20s and 30s.
Loss of, what was it you said? Loss of what?
Innocence.
Innocence, that's the word. Yeah.
Is that right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So understanding loss, understanding grief, not including whatever physical pains you went through in that moment, because I'm sure there were a few of those as well, right? I don't know what kind of injuries you sustained, but I'm hoping they've all healed, or at least mostly healed, right?
Yeah.
So But in that moment, you have that brush with mortality. You have that brush with life, right? And death. And if I were to make a guess, it terrified you a little bit.
Oh yeah. More than once.
So has it made you braver or less brave?
Probably braver. I'd go with braver.
Okay.
I won't quit. I will
That's
never
good.
quit.
That's
I
good.
won't.
That's
It's
good.
annoying sometimes.
That's good. You shouldn't.
But like the 3 months, this is me not quitting.
Well, you don't. Yes, it's not. But also, we're having this chat because I wanted to. We're talking about who will buy your book specifically in this particular case. So you don't think that fragility, that loss, that vulnerability, you don't think that's a universal human condition?
So they connect with it.
Yeah. Look, every story seeks connection. All of them.
Right.
So if you're trying to market a book or try to get readers to read it, then you got to understand why your book hits. And that's why I've been very, like, this first 20 minutes of this conversation or so has been strictly about you realizing, not taking for granted what you give a shit about. Because that's where you're going to make your connections. Again, people think, like, any work of art's expression. I can draw a picture in an hour. I can draw a picture in a month too, but a basic concept for a picture I can come up with in an hour. A novel takes days, weeks, months, maybe years to write, right? Depending on how fast you are. Some people are insane with it, but I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I'm about halfway through my current novel I'm working on. It's going slower than I anticipated, but that's because I'm trying to do a zillion things at once. But I'm chipping away. It's about 40,000 words right now, and it's going to probably end up around 60 or 70 when it's all said and done, right? But anyway, the point is, this is taking me time. If I didn't give a shit about it, why would I make so much effort into it? What do I care about? What do I care about? What is it about the story that I feel is worth telling? Because once I understand that, I can realize how I can reach out to people.
How do you put it into words?
We decided we already have. I already have. You give a shit about mourning vulnerability, that how to overcome loss. That's what you give a shit about. That's what this, right? And I figured that out. Asking you what, 5 questions, like a few questions in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, you got to ask yourself these questions, because it's, again, we don't. Every story has been told. The component we bring is ourselves. As a component we bring as ourselves, then what is it that we're bringing to this story that matters? What do we care about? Because that is what's going to draw readers in. Your concept can be cool, and it can be a hook, but without that connection, they will not stick around. It rings a bell with you, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh.
What?
My brain's overwhelmed.
Why is your brain overwhelmed? Does it make sense?
Parts of it do, but I can't put it all together.
You don't have to put it all together in one conversation. I'm giving you shit to ponder.
Okay.
Right? The idea is, what I want you to do is, when you go out into the real world and you're going to put your book out there, I want you to have the confidence to understand who you are, what your book's about, and why you care so much. And I want you to go out there confident in that you know those things. Right? Because when you know those things, you can find your people. And if you find your people, you'll find readers. And that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
Why you smile?
Because people are going to be reading my book.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, wow.
Isn't it cool?
Oh, wow.
So I gotta ask you something. See, I never went to school for psychology, but I get the feeling that I've been playing the role of therapist with this episode so far.
Yes, incredibly.
Yeah.
And you're good at
Yeah, I know.
it.
Yeah, I've had so many authors come in. Here's the thing, okay? I say this I mean this to every artist that's listening to this or watching this. Stop asking the silly question of who's going to buy your book. Ask this question instead. How am I going to get readers to connect to my book? Don't worry about who is or isn't going to buy your book. Don't worry about who is or isn't going to buy. I have a Patreon. I buy future episodes of the podcast. I could ask myself, who's going to buy this? But that's the wrong question. It's going to be, my question is, who do I think is going to want to listen to this? Right? So I ask it like that because it's a much better question. I can market and tailor my campaigns for those people.
Those are two separate questions, right?
Yeah, of course they are. But again, no one asked the question, who do you think will like your book? And then the first question is, well, why do I give a shit about it? Again, this is just simple rocket science. Why do I give a shit about this? Right? And then the second one, once you know that, it's okay. Then you'll also hopefully know why other people will care about this too. Because no matter how weird you are, we're more alike than we're different. No matter what, we are more alike than we're different. And so we have to, understanding our own vulnerabilities will help us reach out to people with similar vulnerabilities. She's like,
Seriously taking notes here.
yeah.
People who,
but it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And it's a much better approach than the alternative, right?
Not doing anything at all?
Yeah. Well, no, not knowing anything at all can be fun because you can be fearless. Fuck it, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go for it. Right? I can try all the stupid shit. That's great too. But it's different. It's a much different path. But what I'm doing is I am specifying your problems, because the more specific I am with a problem, the more specific I can be with a solution. She's like, damn it.
This might take me a little while.
It doesn't have, you can take your time. There's no rush. There's no like okay. Not everything I'm saying here is going to work for you. That's right. That's the other thing too. Like, not everything I'm saying here is going to work. The important thing is, based on what I've given you, just this little bit I've given you, you can come up with a plan that works for you.
With the plan to get readers.
Yeah, right? And even if it doesn't work out the way you imagine it's going to work out, okay? Let's say it doesn't work at all. Well, now you know it didn't work. Maybe there's some self-assessment there as to why that was the case. But what have you really lost? Nothing. And you've learned everything.
What doesn't work? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it, right? And isn't that worthwhile on its own?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You're not used to this at all.
I'm sorry?
You're not used to this at all.
No, I'm not. This is like the second interview I've ever done.
I'm not even talking about the interview part. You're used to being in my seat.
You mean asking the questions?
Yeah.
I'm more observing the communication.
Yes. Yes. Whereas here, I'm asking you specific questions.
Right.
And you're giving me specific answers. I'm extrapolating based on that.
Yeah.
And I think I've hit some pretty. If I'm not batting 1,000, I'm probably batting around 725, 825, somewhere in that range.
No doubt.
Yeah.
It'll all connect in a bit. I might need to put it aside for a minute, but
yeah, it's all good. But I want you to think about it in these terms, not who's gonna buy my book? Because again, that's a recipe for failure. It's the mindset is not right. Right? Instead, it's the open mindset of, well, I don't know who's going to buy my book, but here's who I think might like it. And it's a starting place, if nothing else.
What did you say? It's not about
who's going to buy your book. If you ask yourself that question, again, because most of us, when we ask that question, are thinking of it from a point of view of despair. I wrote a book, who's going to care? That's the wrong way. That's the wrong approach. The right approach is, okay, I don't know who's going to buy it. You say it as a definitive fact, right? But how might I get people interested enough to find it?
okay. I think it's slowly clicking.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I?
Everything I'm asking you specifically, everything I'm doing here specifically, is about you understanding your book, because you wrote it.
Yeah.
Right? You wrote it. So you understand what your book is and what it isn't. Because if you understand those things, like, I may not necessarily want to read a book about loss and my loss and mourning and grieving. I'm not in that mindset necessarily right now. But there are people who are in that space. There always are. Right? So you have to understand that. You have to understand the what your book is and isn't. Right? And you want people to feel something. You want people to be engrossed in what you're doing.
Yeah, overcoming.
Right? But the way you do that is, again, the more specific you are about your own stuff, the more you can make different approaches about it.
Okay.
Right? This gives you this whole bunch of ideas you can try. Now, again, not all of them are going to work. I can't make you that like a promise that anything's going to work here. That's not a promise I can make you. But what the promise I'm going to give you is you're going to go at it with the approach and the ability to get people to invest in you. Because as much as it's about your book, it's about you too.
Wow. Already got 2 pages worth of notes. This is cool.
So basically, I should be asking for a consultation fee when this is all said and done.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I would if I could.
Yeah. But which comes to the last part of this equation, investment. And this is what I'm going to say. What do you want to accomplish? Like, game, obviously you want more readers, but I guess I should ask this: is the goal with your writing to turn your writing into a career? Is the goal just to write for passion? There's nothing wrong with either answer, by the way. It's just an honest self-assessment.
If I have a sequel.
Okay, so you want to do it. So okay, so are you somewhere? Okay, so that's cool. So let me ask this: do you want to make writing your living? Do you want to make it a side gig? Do you want to make it just a passion you're okay doing? There's, again, no wrong answer here. It's just be honest with what you want. Yeah.
Huh.
Because depending on how you answer that question is the amount of investment you need to make it happen.
And part of me is afraid to succeed because of financial issues.
Financial issues aren't permanent. Right? They're not permanent. They're not a permanent place. They're a temporary place. What do you want? I don't care about your financial situation right now.
I want it out there. I want people talking about it, I guess.
So is this a living? Is this a side gig? So it's probably one of those two. It's not just a passion. It's beyond that. So which one is it? You don't need to answer me directly. This is something you gotta be honest with yourself here. Okay?
So if I made it more than just a gig,
Then it's a priority. So here's the hard part. Here's the part that you're gonna have to come to terms with, right? If you want to turn this into a full-fledged career, then you have to treat this like it is a full-fledged career. You can't treat this like something you can just put away like a coat into the closet. This is something you have to do every single day. Now, let's talk your financials. Now I'll bring your financials into the equation here just for a second. It doesn't matter. Okay, here's the thing. You know what your budget is right now. It will not be your budget forever. What goals, what things can you change to help get to where you need to be to invest properly? And this is a bigger question. Like, this one you probably will not be able to answer fully on this show. But this is what you got to ask yourself honestly. This is a real gut check. Because if you're going to turn this into a full-fledged living, it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. You're going to have to learn to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that is a hard road. But if you can do it, it's possible. If you have other priorities, that's fine too. I'm like this is where, like I said, there's three types of creatives out there. The ones that write for passion, the ones that want to make money out of writing, but not necessarily their top priority, and there's people that want to make it a career. So whether you're 1, 2, or 3 doesn't really matter to me personally. You have to be honest with yourself. Are you willing to do the work it takes to be 1? Are you okay just being 2? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with whatever choice you make. It's all about what you want. The person you cannot bullshit is yourself.
Cool.
That makes sense?
Yes. It's like I'm getting permission.
Kind of. I'm telling you, I'm trying to hopefully get you past that point.
I don't know why you're the one who gets to give me permission.
Because because I'm confident and I sound like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's why. And I'm taking the actual time to invest and actually really talk to you, probably in a way you've never been talked to about this before.
No. I live in a small town. I tried to get a writers group together.
Well, you're not, again, this isn't about them. This is about you.
Right.
And about what, so again, what small town do you live in, if you don't mind my asking?
Red Bluff.
Red Bluff, where is it? What state?
Northern California.
Okay, gotcha. I lived in a small town in the United States called Snowflake, Arizona.
Oh.
Isn't that cool? See, I know what small town life is like in the United States. I get it. So the cool thing about small town life in the United States is lots of time to do shit. Lots of time to do shit. Downside is there's not usually a whole hell of a lot else going on. Usually, you're right. That's the good / bad about it.
Yeah, we were lucky we had the fair.
Yeah, no, but there are advantages. The one thing I am jealous of you guys. This is where I'm a little jealous of you. You get stars at night. Like, living in a city right now. The biggest thing, like the one thing I remember about living in Snowflake in Taylor, Arizona, was I could look out into the sky and I'd see stars every night, and it was beautiful. And I don't take that for granted, because when I come to a city, I can't see the same stars.
You can't?
No, you can't. You go to a big city, stars are gone.
Wow. I hadn't really thought about that.
There are little things to everything, right? There are little things. City has access, jobs. It doesn't have, but what it doesn't have is that ability to galvanize into a community like a small town can. It also doesn't have the ability to, enjoy the timelessness of a smaller place is really, really appealing. It moves slower, and it's okay that it moves slower, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Every place has its speed, its time, and its place. And it's nice. The city, you always have to go. Yeah. And in a small town, you kind of have to a little bit too, because there's not as big. If things go to shit, you have to hustle harder. But that's not, again, all things
Yeah.
considered. There's trade-offs, right? So
I like that people are more connected.
yes, me too. I enjoy that aspect of it. So that's the whole of the secret, right? So but going back, this is about you. It's not about them. Yes, it's cool to get other people wanting to share your interest. I get that. But you know what? What do you do for hobbies? Do you play games?
There's a couple games on my phone, but basically I write. That's it.
So when you go out with friends, you don't board game, you don't do anything like that?
We went out for coffee. Of
Okay.
course, we'll think about the book.
Okay, so if you would like a teensy tiny little bit of advice from a guy that right?
Yes.
Do other things besides writing a little bit, at least a little bit. Take some time to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do a play. Hey, you know what? I'm going to learn a musical instrument. Hey, you know what? I'm going to become a professional wrestler. I'm not saying that that's what you necessarily want to do. I'm just saying, like, find something. And if you want to find something in town, I'm going to tell you this, like a little secret. There is not a soul alive that doesn't want to play. If you go to somebody, you want to buy something, everybody gets like really suspicious. But if you go the other way, hey, you want to play a game? They don't necessarily say yes, but you'll notice this. They'll be like, what kind of game? They're not interested in it, but they want a little bit more information before they pot commit. Right? Find something fun to do. Something fun. Right? And find an interest. It'll help make your passions even better. She's like,
There's a lot of listening here.
this is just good advice in general here.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to ask, since I've been pretty much preaching for the last hour, would you like to ask me questions?
You know what? I'm not sure I would know what to ask. I'm
It doesn't have to be about the paper in front of you. It'd be something else you like.
just trying to set everything up. Make sure I do it right this time.
All right. Don't worry about that. I'm serious. Don't worry about
I had
that.
no plan the first time.
Well, okay. How the plan is like it's an improvement over say, but I don't. The paradox of success. So, did you ever watch Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Barely.
Okay. One of my favorite episodes from the early stuff is Mr. Data is an android computer. He can do like anything. He plays this alien a game of all things, and the alien crushes him utterly. Right? And he spends like a days trying to figure out what's wrong with him. Finally, Picard just has enough. He's like, fuck this shit. Right? Basically, as in his head, that's what he said. It's like, Mr. Data, it is sometimes possible to do absolutely everything correctly and still lose. The paradox of success is this. That is truth. You can do everything absolutely right and still fail. Consequently, by doing none of the things that you know are right at all, you guarantee failure.
Say the last part again.
If you decide not to do the things that are right, you are guaranteed to fail. But keep in mind that if you do everything right, you can still fail. Life isn't fair.
Yeah.
Right? So this is part of that little process, is that life isn't fair. So, and I say this like that for this reason. Don't worry about doing it. Like, do it as right as you know how. Don't be so focused on the result, at least in this terms. Don't make these giant projections. You don't have any context to go by.
Yeah.
Try shit, see the results it nets you. Calculate it. See if you can recreate that. Like when you find something that works, see if you can recreate it. If you can recreate it, then you found a path. But if you can't, let's say, right, that's something a lot of people don't understand is there's a process to success. There's a process to it. And one of the big processes to it is trial and error. Right? You're gonna fuck up. It's okay. I fuck up all the time. That's why I have my own show. But I mean, it's right. So, you have to. You cannot. You do not have the luxury of just right. You have the luxury of doing it better. You're gonna do it better than you did last time, guaranteed. You have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. That's it. It's going to be better. How much better? Shrug. Who the fuck knows? But that's okay too. Is it clicking?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to take the pressure off you as much as possible.
I think I'm more excited now than.
That's where you should be.
There's still nerves, but yeah.
Oh no! I get nervous. It's so like I want nerves, but it's one thing to have nerves, but it's another thing to have like existential dread, right? Right. So I'm trying to eliminate the existential dread. There's no point in having that. You just do the best you know how to do and trust that it's going to work out. One way or the other. And it usually does, right? It usually does. So you just go forward and you don't worry about it.
Okay.
Right? I'm trying to get on the road by the fall, okay? Now I had this epiphany early June that I may not get where I want to be in the time I have. Right? Let's say it doesn't happen the way I want it to. Well, then you know what? I'm going to take some time, do some things differently, and just keep on rolling. Right? And just keep on rolling. It's still gonna work out. It may take longer than I anticipated because, hey, newsflash, life's not fair. But that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay. And be nervous. You should be nervous. Yeah, it's good to be nervous. There's two aspects of fear, right? There's the fear of, oh my God, I can't move at all. And then there's the other side of fear where it's like, oh my God, I'm about to do something absolutely fucking crazy and I have no idea what's going to happen next. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the edge you're going to want to be on as much as possible. You're always going to be scared. When you stop being scared, do something else.
That's cool.
I get the feeling you've never had anyone do this to you for you before.
No. It's been 20 years at least since I took a creative writing course.
Meh.
And even that wasn't anything like this.
Yeah. This is the voice of experience. It's like I know what I'm doing or something. Don't tell anybody though. Right? Don't tell anybody. because I might know what I'm doing, or maybe I don't know what I'm doing. It's eh. But like I said, I'm being again. The, and she's disappeared. Did you hit the camera?
Oh, I dropped it.
Oh, okay. You have a drop phone.
Okay, I got it. Sorry. Okay, I'm back.
Okay. We've had drop phones. We've had 6-year-olds. We've had. Look. I feel like this has been a teaching episode, but what it comes down to is you have a great thing you've made, and you're excited to share it, and you should be a little nervous because again, no matter what, there's always going to be a little bit of that. What if no one reads it? Right? There's always going to be a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But as long as you realize, okay, I know what this book is about. I know what I can talk about, and I can be excited to talk about. And that will carry you. You'll meet people. You'll make connections. See where it goes. Maybe you'll be speaking in schools. Maybe you'll go back to your college or university where you got your psych degree, and you'll be like, "This is you don't know. You never know." Life is. You never know where this can lead, right? And also, here's the other cool thought about this. I'm leading you to the happy, positive stuff, right?
What about that?
What?
Say that again.
I'm leading you down the happy, positive road. It can work out.
Yeah. Because if you go the other way, you're never gonna go anywhere.
Exactly. And a lot of your attitude when we started this conversation was more along those lines. And you gotta stop doing that to yourself.
Oh, wow.
But yeah. Kel Surprise.
Say it
We got
again.
about 20 minutes to go before I have to disappear.
Okay.
We got 20 minutes. Okay, so what does KC actually stand for, if that's okay if I ask? Can I ask?
Kyle Cherie.
Kyle Cherie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I changed my name when I was 19.
Okay. I almost want to ask what your original name was, but you might be mad at me for that.
Oh, everybody asks. Think of a jewelry store or a Percy girl. Tiffany.
Tiffany's a nice name.
I hate that name
Why do you hate it?
because I'm not a snoot.
A what?
A snoot.
I know. So I have a friend of mine from Windsor, Ontario. I nicknamed her the Tipster. Okay. I always enjoyed like that name because it sounds like a symphony, like music, and I like that. I enjoyed the musical quality of the name. Right? If I did have a daughter, it wouldn't be it might be a name I'd go with. Who knows? Right? Depending on. Again, you didn't like the name, and I'm not going to change your mind about that, and I know that. But I don't know. I don't think it was a bad name, and that's all I'm going to say. It wasn't a bad name. But do you like your name now better?
Yes.
Why'd you name yourself that?
Kyle, it's at the beginning of the alphabet. K's a strong letter. Yes, that's a stupid reason. And my initials are my grandma's maiden name.
Okay. Casey?
Casey, Casey is her name.
Okay. So it's kind of it's so more the KC is more to honor your grandmother.
Yeah,
Sounds like she was special.
she was. She passed away almost 4 years ago. She passed away at 3 o'clock in the morning. 6 hours later, I was looking at the house that I live in now. And the address to this house is 1930.
Her year of
She was
birth.
born in 37.
Okay. Okay. Well, so she helped raise you?
Yeah, she took me in when I was 16.
Gotcha. Okay. Mom's side or dad's side?
Mom's side.
Okay. Okay. No astute observations there. My grandmother from my dad's side helped raise me as much as anything, and I love her to death. Yeah, I just love her to death. But no, she's just I'll never forget. There's a wall in our house, and when I was a kid, it's got all the marks of all the inches of year by year that I grew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little thing. Again, it's little things, right? They add up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little sentence in my book, sentence or two, and it's not me. That is not how I write. It's not. Robert does not go and make whatever the words were. That was her, and it's in there.
Yeah.
And I love that it's in there.
Loved it very much.
Yeah. She went through so many versions of this with me, because I started this when I was 12.
So, can I ask how old you are now?
46.
Okay. You're older than I am. So I'm gonna ask. This is the big question. Why'd you wait so long?
Self-confidence. I never would have done anything if Ashley hadn't have done the whole phone thing that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
She called the publisher, handed me the phone, and left the room.
Ah. You needed someone to push you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happy she did it?
Yes. Yes. Even with the mistakes that I've made. And I knew I was going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I've moved forward, and I just need to keep moving forward.
Correct. What's the biggest lesson you've learned so far?
I don't know. Keep going.
That's a good lesson.
It feels good.
Yes. Doing what you're supposed to do makes you come alive.
Yes. Yes.
Doing what you're not supposed to do kills you inch by inch.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else on your bucket list that besides writing lots of towering bestsellers, so you can say, "Hi, you laugh, but you never know."
That would be so flippin' awesome. Excuse my language. That's just me. I mean, that's the only thing I've ever done is write.
Okay. Do you want to do it traditionally? Do you still want to get like a big 5-book deal, New York Times bestseller? Do you care? Like, what are your like? Do you have aspirations?
It would be nice if it was. I'm not expecting it. I don't. I'm just happy it's out there.
That's fair, but I'm just again we're having an honest conversation here.
Yeah.
What do you want? Do you want that? There's no crime in saying yes, I want that.
That would be cool.
Okay, so that's a yes?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Wait, who do you like to read? Who do you like to read?
Bridget Kemmerer.
Okay,
Yellow
I'm not
Springs.
familiar.
Yeah, she's my favorite.
This is what I'm currently reading. I'll show you what I'm currently reading. One of the books I'm currently reading.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Victoria
Yeah,
Aveyard.
I'm sorry.
Victoria Aveyard. I've enjoyed her stuff. This is just me. This is a fun reading stuff. Now, this is as traditional as it gets. It's formulaic. It's a little formulaic. So, who do you think you write? Who do you think you write? What?
Sorry. You went with the traditional publisher?
I accidentally got traditionally published. It was an accident. It was an accident. So I wanted to do an indie book. So I came up. So this was in 2014. I decided that I was going to write this poetry collection. This was my plan. Okay, this was my specific plan. But I wanted to write a longer poem because then a typical one song lyric kind of thing. So I wrote this story about a slave boy that's in this compound where dragons are the masters and people are the slaves. And he's looking out into this horizon and wondering just what's out there. I really liked it. And I kind of wanted to know what was next. So in chapter 2, I wrote chapter 2. In chapter 2, he kills his dragon master. Well, can't beat it there. So chapter 3, his first night on the wilderness alone, coming to terms with the fact that he murdered somebody, but also the fact that he's alone in the woods. Chapter 3 led into chapter 4. 4 led to 5. 5 led into 6. And I realized that this was my poetry collection. Okay, this was it. Not what I was planning. This. Write it all. I get to the end of the book, and I'm at a comic shop in Calgary, Alberta. And at this comic shop, I see this person I worked at Kinko's with. Her name's on a book. It's really fucking cool. And I'm like, well, maybe she should draw some stuff for me. And she did. She agreed to do it. So I had this book, I have this cover, and all this cool shit. I put it out there on Smashwords. I was going to indie publish this. That was my plan, to have some book stuff. So someone I interviewed years ago buys the book. She goes, I really like this. What are you going to do with it? What I just told you is the answer. And she goes to me, well, listen, I'm about to start a publishing house. I'll publish the book. And that is how you accidentally get traditionally published.
That's cool.
So the moral of the story, Daniel, and I've told the story many times on the show, but the moral of the story is you put, again, no expectations. Just go out there and you do it, and you let what happen happen. Now, what I was gonna say to you, because I don't know what publishing house is your goal, but I would suggest that your favorite authors, you should probably look inside and find who their agents are. Then start contacting her. Hi, my name is Casey, and I am awesome at made of cheese, and I got this book right here I think you'll be interested in. And see what happens. If that's what you want.
I can still do that even though I've done it indie.
Sure, if you want to. Now they're not as prone to buy it. I'm going to tell you that up front. They're not going to be as prone to buy it. But at the same time, this is where you can work on something else very quietly while you're doing this. You got to think a little bit, right? It might be like, well, I don't like this. Do you have something else? And then you give them that something else. And then suddenly you're rich and wealthy and independent and socially secure and all that other wonderful bullshit. Who knows? But again, you got to think. What do you want? Not bullshitting you, right? Now, as I've been going back to that question over and over and over and over and over again, don't bullshit yourself.
No, you're not coming in here to go potty. No, you're not.
Hmm.
Stinky dog.
Be specific, be deliberate. Ugh, I'm tired.
Oh, wow. So I need to get to work on RL.
What?
I need to get to work on Ravenwood then.
Well, you got, okay, again, there's no process here. What I'm giving you is a it is a very specific guide to figure out what you want to accomplish in this business. Everything has a common denominator. What do you want? And please don't bullshit yourself. I don't care about your obstacles. They don't matter. What do you want? We can figure out how to overcome those obstacles one bit at a time. The real secret is, what do you want? Don't fool yourself. You cut through a lot of bullshit that way.
Hmm. Do you get a lot of people taking notes when you do these?
Sometimes.
I'm like 4 pages in.
It's all the same thing at the end of the day. What do you want? What do you want? How do you want to get there? Right? You be specific. Don't lie to yourself, and just don't, and pretend you don't have anything standing in your way. You can figure out all that shit afterwards. Well, I can't do this because I'm poor. Fuck that. You can do whatever the hell you want. You just need a plan to get there. But the more specific you are, and this is the lesson in this conversation, is the more specific you are with yourself, with all the things that you want to accomplish in this life, the more likely you can make them happen. The more general you make things, the less likely you accomplish things. I want to be happy. Doesn't mean shit. Doesn't really mean anything. I want to write books because that makes me happy is far more specific.
Hmm.
And in this case, so, no, you first.
So I should figure out Ravenwood and then try to look into where to send it.
Yeah.
Oh, holy whatever.
Don't be afraid of no's.
Yeah.
You can always, don't go like have no expectations. Be prepared. Again, not too high, not too low. Just go out there and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. Just do what you're supposed to do. Read the instruction manual, follow the guidelines, just see what happens.
Mm.
And if it doesn't work out, well, that's fine. You'll find it'll go somewhere.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm gonna ask this: should I be charging for this?
Probably.
Yeah. So if I said to you that this would have cost $300, would it have been worth $300? I mean, and
Yes, it would. I don't know if I'd have it.
no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't necessarily have it. But I mean, the last thing: don't sell yourself short. This is a podcast. We just talk. We're shooting the breeze. This conversation felt like you needed a kick in the pants.
Mhm.
So you got your kick in the pants, a gentle one, but a kick in the pants nonetheless. Right? Right? You have to be honest with yourself, but also don't sell yourself short. If I were to make a book about this, I'd be selling it direct and I'd be charging a lot of money for it. Because the way I look at it is you're not going to value the advice. We'll see how much of this advice you take. Because if you did have money, you'd take it no problem.
Yeah.
But you don't have money. It's easier to take. It's easier to dismiss the advice when you have nothing. It's like, okay, this costs what, $3 where you're at? Maybe less?
Yeah.
Is this worth a damn? No. Why? Because it's worth nothing. This costs you a bit of a pretty penny. And you found a way to pay for one because you got one. Right?
My brother-in-law.
What?
My brother-in-law.
Doesn't matter. You
It
still
did.
got it. You still got it, and that's the point. But you value this, right? Because you know this is not so easy to replace.
Right.
Well, the cost. Human psychology. So with your books, don't be shy about charging what you think they're worth. Just like if I'm going to be pimping my Patreon and my advertising business in a minute here. I don't charge cheap for advertising. Right? I don't. Because the way I look at it is if you're serious about getting your stuff out there, you'll find a way to pay me. If you're not, you won't. Same with my Patreon. My Patreon is actually cheaper. It's $5 a month to watch the shows, what they're going to look like going forward. Right? But it's just $5. Will people buy it? Pricing psychology. Understand why you think things are worth what they're worth. You might be surprised. All of this ties together, by the way. Self-worth, confidence, patching from the outcome, knowing what you want from this. It all applies. It's not just in the writing thing, it's a life thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. All ties together. So Miss KC, we're almost at the point where you get to pitch your book. Now you can pitch.
Now I can pitch.
Now you can pitch. Because I didn't want you to hide in the pitch. Because hiding in the pitch is like blah 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 blah. No. But now we're at the end of the presentation, at the end of the interview, and you have books. So you should talk about your relaunch.
Okay, sounds great. I'm doing it at the end of July.
Okay. What's
At
your
a
book?
coffee shop. Huh?
What's your book about?
My book is a family dealing with the assault of a 15-year-old boy.
Okay. This is called Carson. What's it called?
Carson Promise.
Okay. So it's about a 15-year-old boy getting assaulted and the family's
Coming
how it affects
together.
affects the family in the process.
And the victim's a twin.
Okay.
Twins are kind of my thing.
Twins are kind of your thing?
Yeah, I love the idea.
You love the idea? I was going to ask you, were you a twin?
No, I wish I were. All my siblings are 6, 8, and 11 years younger than me.
Ah. So you're the oldest.
I am.
They look out for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I live with one of them. I live with the youngest.
Good dude.
Yep.
That's all good. That's all good. So Carson Promises is going to be available. Do you know what day in July?
Actually, the relaunch is on July 22nd.
Okay.
It's already available on Amazon, and I believe Barnes and Noble.
Okay. Do you have a link?
I do, but I do not know how to give it here.
Let's find out if I can find you. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see where we can do this, folks.
Yeah, my sister calls me a media baby, and she's right.
I mean, you are gonna have to get a little better at this. That's just part of the deal. But I did find it, so I'm gonna put it right here for people to. There you go. It's on the. It is currently on. Hold on a second here. Broadcaster, Prime Gaming. I got it up there for you so people can watch it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you go check on the link in the description, you can find Carson Promise available now. It is. You can definitely check it out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have a Patreon page, and I'm going to put it up there for ladies and gentlemen. So, if you want to know what's going to happen post episode 1000, it looks like 1006, maybe 1007. You can go right now and check it out, because on there right now are currently 3 interviews. My 4th interview with musician Eminent Rays is going up Monday. $5 a month gets you access to the show and my current work in progress, Corey the Night Witch, which I've already mentioned, about halfway through it. So for those wondering, that's about 16 chapters deep into it. So there's about 16 more, maybe a little less. I'm having fun with chapter 16 as we speak. You have to check that out. I can also advertise your books for you. So I do videos, audio, words, and pictures about your projects and yourselves. I've done this for comic book creators, novelists in the past, and I'm going to keep doing it now. So those services are available. You should definitely check those out. And with that, that will do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this week. I'll have more guests next week. I'm doing more secret shows next week for the Patreon. So I don't know how many episodes next week, but I'll have a few. But for everybody watching, everybody listening, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. And I'll see you next time.